Hello, how is it going? So got a new release to unbox. Very happy that this has arrived. I didn't think it had arrived yet. I ordered it a couple of weeks ago. It was out on Tuesday this week, yesterday, I believe the 12th, I think that was. And that's the mini-series The Shining from Stephen King. Directed by Mick Garris. It's obviously not Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece from 1980. That's just a classic film. And this actually isn't as good, but I do hold it in some regard because I really enjoyed it when I watched it last year. I watched the DVD of it, and I'm so happy this got a Blu-ray release from Screen Factory. A little bit pricey, I suppose. I suppose that's because it's a mini-series. They sort of held their price on it, but yeah, I'm really happy this has had a Blu-ray. It's a Region A, Screen Factory, Shout Studios, and I'm going to do a quick unwrapping unboxing. So I'd say overall, like, Stanley Kubrick's film is obviously like a masterpiece and a horror, you know, very iconic horror film. This is just a good mini-series and it fleshes out the story a little bit more. So it hits on a few beats that the film didn't do. The film's great in its own right. Apparently Stephen King didn't like the film initially, so he produced this with Mick Garris. And I thought it was really good. I can live in a world where both exist. So I love the film, masterpiece, one of the best horror films ever made. It's like in my top 4, I think, my top 4 horror films ever, definitely. But I can also take this mini-series existing as well because it gives me more Shining, and it's a different take, different actors. It feels different. It feels completely different to Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece. This is, like I say, new Blu-ray from Screen Factory. As you can see there's some of the details. Excuse the glare. New 2K scan from the interpositive. You've got some audio commentary. So a little bit thin on the special features. It does say plus 11 additional scenes, which should be quite good. But I forget how many sort of episodes it is. I think it's about 4. Yeah, I watched the DVD last year. Really enjoyed it. Very good adaptation. A little bit more detailed than the film, but the film is better. The film works you know, on a like linear level. The film hits all the notes, I suppose, of the story, and is just a masterpiece. And Jack Nicholson's phenomenal in that. But you know, the actors do a good job in this. I mean, you have is it Steven Weber? Yeah, Steven Weber is Jack Torrance. He does a good job dealing with alcoholism and all those kind of things in the story. Rebecca De Mornay, is it De Mornay? Rebecca De Mornay, she does a good job as his wife. Very good job indeed. Of course, the kid as Danny Torrance, he's okay. Like, you know, he's fine. This also has a bit more of an upbeat ending to the film. I do like the ending in this mini-series, but I do prefer the ending of the film with basically the shot of Jack Torrance frozen in the snow with his head poking out of the snow in the maze. But yeah, some cool stuff in this. There's the weird sort of, they do the bushes come into life. It's kind of like the I forget what you call it now, but it's where you have these bushes and they're shaped like animals and they come alive in this. It was obviously in the book, but they didn't cover that in the film. You've obviously got the creepy twins in this and the creepy twins in the film as well, but I think the film's done a lot better. It's very artistic, the film, and it's a masterpiece, as I keep saying, but really good mini-series. So if you've not seen the Shining mini-series, do check it out. You can pick up the DVD quite cheap as well. I had the DVD, which I still have. Might do that in a giveaway or something if anybody's interested who's not seen it. But yeah, Screen Factory have released this, and it's a pretty nice addition for what it is. I mean, I will say one thing, for like, it cost me about £29, and it's a little bit bare bones, so not many features really for a boutique label release, and they could have at least done a slipcover, I will say that. So I'm going to throw a few criticisms at like Screen Factory, like with good intention. So they could have done a slipcover with even that on. They could have done slightly better artwork, newly commissioned art, although this looks fine. It does capture the kind of essence of what the mini-series is about. the mini film, or whatever you want to call it, the mini series, the reimagining of The Shining from Mick Garris. I don't believe there's any reverse artwork. That's just a red rum. You got the red rum underneath there. 2 discs, part 1 and part 2. That's cool. It's not rated. That's a certification. But yeah, they could have just took that image and thrown a slipcover on just to make it a bit more of a slightly premium release, which it is sort of priced at that point. They could have also done newly commissioned art and done something really cool with one of the artists who used to do the collector's editions. They could have even made it a collector's edition and done newly commissioned art and a slipcover, or just done a slipcover of this art, as I keep saying. So that's a few gripes with Scream Factory for not making this release stand out a bit more. Could have stood out a little bit more. But yeah, like I say, good adaptation, I think. It's not going to be to everybody's liking. I know a lot of people hate it, but I think sometimes they're just comparing it to the original film. I don't compare it to the film. I see it as its own thing. It's a reimagining, a readaptation. The film's amazing. Nothing's going to take anything away from Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. It's just a classic movie, iconic horror film, one of the best ever. Jack Nicholson's performance is phenomenal. Shelley Duvall's great in it as well. But the actors do a good job in this, and it is a good adaptation, and I did enjoy it. That's the release anyway. Quite bare bones. Just you get your, you know, like your Amaray case with Stephen King's The Shining. It's not a bad Amaray case. I'm not sure if it's one of the recyclable ones. I don't think it quite is. It's just not the best. It's thicker than some. Not the thinnest. It's not too bad, but they could have done a slipcover at least. I mean, why not? There's a little look at the back again anyway. You got the synopsis there if you want to pause that. Yeah, I do enjoy this. It's a guilty pleasure. I enjoyed it when I first watched it. I'm very happy it's got a Blu-ray, especially from Scream Factory. So I'm happy to have it on Blu-ray because there's never been a Blu-ray release of this before. So it's making its Blu-ray debut, which I think is utterly fantastic for this. It needed it. Could have been a bit more of a premium release because they chose to do a premium price point. Why not make the release a little bit more, let's say, you know, like they could have created more, they could have done more supplements, made it a bit more of a must-have release. So it's a bit bare bones for a release of this price, bit expensive for what it is. Could have been 20 rather than 29, you know. But yeah, I'm happy it's got a Blu-ray. So I'm not faulting Scream Factory too much. Very happy it's got a Blu-ray. Quite ecstatic about that because I want to see this in Blu-ray. I'll probably leave it for a year or two before I actually watch it because I watched it last year. So 2 years time, I'll probably crack this Blu-ray out and see what it's like. New 2K scan as well, which should look nice. And hopefully the colours will pop and stuff. But yeah, good adaptation. It's solid. It's a solid, middle-of-the-road adaptation. It's nowhere near the masterpiece of the film, but it's pretty good. So that's Stephen King's The Shining mini-series, directed by Mick Garris, with its own Blu-ray release. They could have made it a little bit more must-have, but obviously they just made it a bit bare bones. But, you know, it's a fairly good release. I just wish it was a bit cheaper. But I had to have it because I really thought it was good. And I don't know if this is ever going to get a Region B Blu-ray release. I don't know. It probably will, more than likely. Chances of that are quite high, but it could be a while, like 2 to 3 years, or it could be never. So I was just happy to get this on Blu-ray. But anyway, there's my quick unboxing or unwrapping if you want to be specific. Any comments on this, do drop one. That'd be fantastic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.